If you're new to the e-com game, Shopify is an overwhelming platform. That's why today, I'm going to run you through it. What's going on, guys? My name's David Talmadge and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Shopify, the pros and the cons of why you should jump on Shopify, and really give you a quick tutorial of how to understand the platform and get to know the behind the scenes dashboard. So if you've been following me for a while now, you've noticed the scenes changed a little bit. For me, this is just a lot easier to talk to camera directly and look at the screen here so we can really have a good conversation and understand the platform and understand the tutorial that we're going through. So without further ado, let's jump into Shopify and get started. Okay, so the best thing about Shopify is that you get a free trial. Like most other platforms out there, they give you about a 7-day free trial. Actually, Shopify gives you a 14-day free trial to go through and really get your head around the platform, to try to develop your website and kind of, well, realistically hook you in so you sign up for their platform. The first thing that you're going to need to do is create a Gmail account. I've already gone ahead and created a Gmail account for this tutorial. I'm not really going to show you guys how to create a Gmail account because, well, I'm hoping that everybody knows how to create, well, any email account. It can be Outlook, Gmail, whatever. As long as you have a dedicated email account for this and for your own business, that's something I'd recommend straight away. So let's start with the store name that we're going to use here, which is lastfridayever@gmail.com, password and store name Last Friday Ever, and create store. So now you're just going to have to sit back and relax for a little bit while Shopify goes through its processing here, and your store's ready to go in a matter of seconds. You're going to have to fill out this questionnaire here, which really just runs you through a couple different options. Are you already selling? Let's go, I'm not selling product yet for the purpose of this. Do you have something to sell? Yes, I have a product that I'll be launching in a few weeks. And what is your current revenue? Well, we're going to say $0 because we're just starting a Shopify store. Are you setting up the store for a client? No, we're not setting up the store for a client. We're setting it up for ourselves. And I'll jump back to you guys in a minute while I fill out all of this. Okay, so when you filled out the personal details, you're going to see the main Shopify dashboard. This is something that you're going to go through and see every single day when you log into the platform and you log into your store. It's where everything happens and it's where the behind the scenes happen. Shopify does try to guide you through the process as best it can, so you can really get through this without any knowledge of coding or website design or anything at all. So the first thing it asks you to do is either select a plan or add a product. For the purposes of this video, we're not going to select a plan. We're going to just add a product and really show you guys how to develop your store and develop a Shopify theme. So let's go add a product, and this is what you see is what you get kind of platform in the background. What we're going to do is, let's say Last Friday Ever is a t-shirt clothing brand dedicated to people who like to travel or dedicated to people who want to design their own clothing brands. So let's go Last Friday Ever icon shirt. The description is kind of where you're going to have most of your metadata information and where Google's going to help pick up the SEOs and everything like that. So you want your descriptions to be very descriptive and also very lengthy, but not too lengthy. Anywhere between a paragraph to maybe 2. Make sure there's key points. So let's talk about the specs, the size. Is it true to size? We can talk about where it's made and potentially a partnership with some charity. And you're just going to go through and fill out that description and come down to the bottom and upload an image. So I've gone ahead and just downloaded a random image off Google. I don't own the rights to this image. It's just a random image off the internet. So when you come down, one thing that I do recommend is adding alt text. Alt text is again an SEO or a search engine optimization tool, which is going to help your company rank higher in Google. You're never going to rank in the top at the start, but if you give it a few months, a few years of working at it, eventually you will become the top company if you are a successful company and a successful business. So for example, in this one, we're going to go Last Friday ever icon shirt, white, sizes small, medium, large, extra large. And done. That's something that some people skip, but I do recommend it. Pricing, well, let's go, I don't know, $29, well, $30 flat because I like round numbers. Compare price is something that you can either do if you're comparing it to a competitor, but if you're starting your own brand, I use this as a sales tactic. So compare price, $50, say it's on sale, and cost per item is something for you in the background. Say it costs $10, it lets you do projected margins, it lets you calculate your taxes later in the year, and charge taxes on this product is something I keep ticked. If you live in Australia, you're going to need to pay taxes on all your revenue made on this store. If you live elsewhere, well, it's up to you to do your due diligence and really understand what you need to know about a Shopify store. And being an e-com entrepreneur, I know Canada or America is very similar to Australian regulations. You have to pay your taxes, which is probably similar everywhere around the world, to be honest. Your SKUs, your barcodes, and your product inventory, it's completely up to you if you use it. SKUs is something that you'll kind of get used to later on down the track when you start having more and more inventory and you're selling quite a lot of stock. But at the moment, if you're starting small scale, you probably don't need to add a SKU because you're going to know from the title of your product what you need to pack and ship. Quantity is an interesting one. I don't personally use quantity to track it on Shopify because it does get a little bit confusing. But if, for example, you're just selling this one t-shirt, then very simply you can say you have 100 of those, and do we want to allow customers to back order? Well, no, we don't want to. This is the shipping section here, which is pretty self-explanatory. Again, let's say the shirt weighs about 100 grams. And then the country of origin, well, chances are it's going to come from China if we're being realistic. And now this is the HS code system, which allows you to provide real-time shipping information. If you're in America or in Canada, it's very useful because you can use companies like DHL. Whereas in Australia, unfortunately, there's not too many options with this code system here. So if you're an Australian Shopify store, I completely dismiss this at the start. You don't need to put anything in there at all. Your fulfillment service is Shopify. Later down the track, you can obviously look into fulfillment services, which will basically pack and ship all your orders for you. You just have to let them take over. You do pay them a commission or a percentage or whatever the fees are, but you do obviously pay them to do your job for you. Variants is, well, very simple. If you add a variant, you're going to have different sizes in this example: small, medium, large, extra large, extra large. And what we want to do is you can have different prices. Say if the extra large costs a little bit more, you can price it at $35 and say we have 25 of each of these. So your inventory is split up 100 total, 25 each. It really gives you the freedom to kind of switch these around and change it up a little bit. Now, if you do have different colors and different options of the same shirt and want to add variants and let your pictures swap around, well, this is where you're going to need to know a little bit of coding, and with a quick search on Google, you're going to be able to find out how to do that. It's relatively simple. I will save that for another tutorial. This is for now just setting up a basic Shopify store. The last thing you're going to need to look at is this bottom SEO, search engine listing preview. This is going to be exactly what it is. That's how it's going to look up on Google when you do eventually show up in the search results. So for this one, I would personally go icon, white shirt, that little stroke there, last Friday ever. And then your description, you want to write incredible shirt, cotton, made with reusable resources, 100% money back maybe, and then free shipping. Something like that, just to really draw the customers in from the Google homepage straight away. Keep it very short, keep it very condensed. It's automatically going to take your description here So I do personally recommend changing it so it's a quick 1 or 2 line description. Make it something unique, something useful, and something that the customers are going to love and click on, and that's going to make your store stand out. So for products, that's all there is to it. You just click save product at the bottom, and it's going to take a little bit of time to save your product. And if you want to check out what it's going to look like for customers, you click this little view button here, and it's going to take you to your store here. So this is your first ever product, designed how you like it. Now you see what I meant here by the compare prices. You're going to have $50 as a comparison, $30 it's on sale. Straight away you've hooked a couple people because they love things that are on sale. You have to be cautious with sales and discount codes. Obviously you don't want your customers to get accustomed with just getting cheaper and cheaper items. A great feature I found in Shopify is it automatically zooms to your product here. So make sure your pictures are high res. There's no dirt, dust, things like that on your images. But that is basically what your product is going to look like at the moment. And it's going to request that a customer selects their size. So again, if we go to the extra large, you're going to see that the price changes. You don't have to change it according to size, obviously, but however, if you're getting into quadruple XL or something, there is a good chance that this is going to cost you more. And then it's again up to you if you want to charge more for that item. So let's go back to our Shopify home, and we've added our first product, which is fantastic. And the next step here is to customize your theme. Now, before we customize our theme, I'm going to run through this little sidebar here. So your sidebar is pretty self-explanatory. When you go to orders, this is where all your orders are going to come up. At the moment, we don't have any. Obviously, the store is not live either, so it's asking you to select a plan. If you're just on trial mode, it's not going to allow you to sell any products. It's just going to be a trial, so don't think you can get 14 days free for trying to avoid the payment plan. One thing that's very important and critical once you start running your store is the abandoned checkout. This is something that's really powerful with retargeting ads and email marketing campaigns and Google, Facebook pixels, Google pixels, and just really trying to get those people that have had a split-second decision or been interrupted during the abandoned cart process, walked away and forgotten about your store. So when they come to Facebook tomorrow or Instagram tomorrow, hopefully they come back and they're going to see that ad and potentially you're going to be able to recover that sale. So that's why abandoned checkout is a very useful section of this sidebar. Products is your next option on the sidebar, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you do need to edit any product that you've created, change prices, change SKUs, anything like that, you can edit them from this spot here. So if you click into the same product that we just created a minute ago, you're going to see everything the same and you're going to be able to adjust it as you need to. On the right hand side here is something I didn't go through, and that's the product type, the vendor, the collection, and tags. So if you have a different collection, for example, this is the last Friday icon collection, and then you have the first Friday icon collection. I don't know, you can have different collections for different things. You're able to create collections and group these items together, which makes it easier for customers to go, oh, I want an icon shirt or I want a first Friday shirt, and they can just filter by those. Same thing with the tags. If you create tags, you can go white, black, design here, and just little tags that people might be searching in their filters. I wouldn't go overboard. They don't help with any SEOs or anything like that. So realistically, you don't even need them if you don't want to. And that's basically it with that adjustment section there. The one thing that I have found actually really helpful is the duplicate button up the top. So if you're creating an identical product, maybe with just a different variants, very similar description, just duplicate the item, don't duplicate the images, rename it up the top, and you'll be able to get products out a lot quicker. So along the products section here, you're going to have transfers if you have different locations for your products. Generally, you're probably going to have most of your stock in one place, if not drop shipping. Inventory, again, managing your inventory, understanding how many of each item you have left. This is very useful if you do start running low. You can really start tracking these one by one and maybe reducing them just to make sure you don't run out and have to email customers and be like, hey, look, sorry guys, ran out. That's always a bad email to receive from a company. Collections, again, something I was just talking about there. You can create different collections here. So let's go ahead and create the last Friday collection, and let's say that this collection is all about adventure weekends. I don't know, something like that. Obviously, if this is your store, put a lot more time and effort into these creative descriptions. At the moment, this is just a quick tutorial. Okay, so there's one error. Some text in the product tag is equal to, I didn't change this. So down, because it's automatically populated, you want to make sure that the product tag is equal to last Friday ever. And then we can save that. And just to demonstrate how that actually works is if we go back into all our products, go to the last Friday ever icon shirt, last Friday ever. And now if we save that change and scroll down to collections, hopefully we're going to have one product automatically added to that there. So now you're able to create different sections in your website to be able to sell different categories and let people shop a lot easier. You can also do this with men's and women's, kids, things like that if you really want to get into it. Gift cards is the last option here. Gift cards is on a more advanced Shopify plan. You can't get it on the basic one. However, just a pro tip, if you're looking to use Afterpay, you can't actually use gift cards and Afterpay at the same time. So you don't really need the advanced Shopify theme if you're looking to use Afterpay from the get-go, or if you don't need gift cards. Analytics, going down the section a bit more, gives you a good rundown of your store. It's very similar to Google Analytics. I would also suggest implementing Google Analytics into your Shopify store so you have the greater data from Google and not just the basics you get from Shopify. So Shopify will give you some generic statistics. Obviously the store's non-existent, so we have no statistics. Marketing is a tab I don't use because obviously if you're running a store, you really want to be running your own marketing. You don't want to let Shopify take over. In my personal opinion, you're going to be wasting a little bit of your money here. Shopify does have a good generic marketing plan, but obviously if you can understand Facebook ads, Instagram ads, it's a lot better that you go ahead and do that instead of marketing through this platform. Discount codes is where you create a discount code for your customers. Maybe you found an ambassador to represent your brand and you want to set them up with a discount code so they can give them to their followers. So let's say John 10 is the discount code. It's going to get them 10% off everything. You can have a fixed amount, you can give them free shipping, or you can do a buy X, get Y. It's completely up to you how you set these discount codes up, but each variant here is exactly the same. Running down a little bit further, it applies to the entire order, specific collection, specific products. Here you can make sure that you're only selling this discount code potentially to the men's products, to the women's products, to whatever you need it to. And you can also limit the purchase amount and a minimum quantity of items. So for example, if you already have a massive sale on and most of your items have dropped under $20 and you can't give a further discount here because you'd be losing money, you set a minimum purchase amount of $25, for example. That way you're set, you don't have to worry about it, and you won't be losing money on anything there that's below $25. Now, something that I like to add is limit one per customer, so you don't have customers coming back and using the same discount code over and over again. If it is an ambassador, however, it's potentially good to untick that because they do like to have customers returning and using their same code, and it really makes sure that ambassador is doing their job and really helping you boost your brand. But you can set a limit in total. So say you've got 10 maximum on his discount code, first 10 people to use it, get 10% off. Things like that. You can really do quite a lot of things here. But it is a very simple thing to set up. You just run through it, follow the instructions, and once you've set up, it's automatically done for you. There's nothing more you have to do. You can set up automatic codes as well, which runs through this exact same system as codes. It just means your customers don't have to type in a code at the checkout. It potentially saves them money, but it loses money for you at the same time. So it's a catch-22. Apps here is one of the most powerful sections in Shopify, and it is the reason why I recommend Shopify for any e-com entrepreneur in 2019 over any other store. There's so many different apps created for Shopify. Basically, you can get different shipping apps, different marketing apps, different pop-ups, printers, anything that you can think of. Shopify or some developer has created an app for this. And it's something that if you add a select amount of apps, don't go overboard, you can actually enhance your website even more. So for example, one of my favorite apps is the Facebook Messenger app. So they don't have to contact you via email, they can send you a Facebook message straight away. And most of the time, everybody's got their phone out, so you can quickly reply to your customers. They're not waiting around for hours, forgetting about your store, potentially losing that sale. So apps is 100% the biggest pro of Shopify in my personal opinion. Okay, so going back to the store, the last thing you're gonna see is your sales channels. And at the moment, we only have an online store. However, you can have a presence store, different Facebook, Instagram stores, and you can have a Wish store, for example, if you're selling some products like that, which really gives you the flexibility. But because we've just started out, the only thing we have here is the online store. So at the moment, our website, if we go customize website, we're gonna see what our website looks like at the moment. And it's basically a generic, bland website that we get to edit and promote the best we can. Shopify kind of limits you to the homepage in a sense that this is the most flexible editing you get along the way. You don't really get to edit all the pages behind the scenes in the same fashion that you do with Wix and Squarespace, but that's why Shopify runs so smoothly, because everything behind the scenes is already done. It's very fluid and it's very well done, so there's no issues. Whereas when you go on sites like Wix and potentially Squarespace, in my opinion, you start messing around with too many things, you end up with a lot of problems later down the track, and that's how you end up losing customers. So if we want to edit anything on this Shopify theme, we can use this side panel down the left. It is very self-explanatory and it is very basic, so it's not going to take too hard or too long for you guys to figure it out. So the main generic image, if we select an image, let's go to free images because I haven't downloaded anything. Men's fashion, let's go the bloke on a bike, and yep, that looks great on our store. Let's select that image. We want to go with the heading last Friday ever. No more work weeks, just adventure. So maybe that's the slogan of your store. Maybe that's what you want people to see first. Potentially you want that to be something different, but for the time being, we'll just stick with that. And then you go back here and you can go through the different sections and do similar things. So featured products, featured collection, sorry, can be your homepage. Let's change it to our last Friday ever collection. And then that shirt pops up. So all of a sudden your store, your homepage, your landing page, whatever you want to call it, is starting to create its own theme and starting to come together. You can add different sections for potentially a blog post. Once you click on it, it shows you what a blog post might look like. Or for example, you want to add a logo list. If you're, I don't know, a media company or a production company and you've worked with big brands like Mercedes, McDonald's, Nike, anything like that, maybe you've worked with these big companies, that's something that's a great selling point and potentially want to add that into your website so everybody else can see that you've done a good job, you've worked with these other companies and you're reputable. The easiest way, because this is such an important feature potentially for your company, you can just click and drag it to wherever you want on your website. So all of a sudden, last Friday ever, logo list, and as people scroll, they're going to see more and more of your website, more and more about who you are. And the rest of the homepage is actually developed in the same way. So I'm not going to go through much more of that because it's just going to be very repetitive. We're going to jump into theme settings here very quickly. It lets you customize all the colors of everything on your store. So sale prices, we don't want them to be blue. We potentially want them to be red. Primary colors, we can have them as black. And if we scroll down, there we go, we see that the sale price has changed, just for convenience to show you guys. Blue, red, pretty self-explanatory, all these fields you can adjust and watch how your store changes. This is something that you're going to have to pay attention to in the future. Different colors and different themes can actually help you generate more sales and generate different markets and different audiences. So for example, you have a blue, very calming color, then maybe your store is all about the ocean and looking to, I don't know, promote mindful meditation or something like that. If your store is orange, you're empowering. There's a lot of psychology behind colors, something that you can easily look up on Google, and something I do recommend you take a quick look at before you go ahead and select all your different colors for your store. Okay, so let's say we've completed our website. That's all done. Let's go back to Shopify. Let's cancel that and save our changes first. And then go back to Shopify. So by going back to Shopify, you just click the purple shopping cart in the top left corner and it takes you back to your homepage. So now that our theme's starting to develop, we'll go back to home. We've added products, we've customized our theme. We want to add a domain. So I won't go through this fully because obviously it does cost a little bit of money to set up a domain. And I'm not actually going to be running this store ever. Let's say I don't have a domain. I want to buy a new domain. You can buy it from Shopify itself, or you can go to sites like GoDaddy, Crazy Domains, Dirt Cheap Domains, anything like that, and connect it to your store. Okay, so the one last thing I want to go through with you guys is in the online store and the navigation section. The menu headers up the top and the footer menus down the bottom as well. So in the main menu, you can add different custom menu options. For example, you can have men's, which links to the collection maybe. And the last Friday collection might be your men's items. Then we can do the same thing down the bottom for women's. And at the moment, I haven't created anything, but let's say you've created the homepage is your women's collection for the purposes of this. And you can create that there, and we'll delete catalog because we don't need that one at the moment. And home you can keep if you like, you don't have to. Save the menu here. So when you go back into your online store and go customize once again, it takes a little bit of time to boot up, but you're going to see up the top in your menu, you're going to have home, men's and women's. So if we click men's, you're going to see that one product we created. If you click women's, it's probably going to take you back to the home page or the home collection, which we have nothing in. But basically that's how you create new header menus up the top. Now there is a lot to go through in Shopify and different settings and themes. You can select different themes. So for example, we can explore the free themes that might be more suited to your store. So potentially it's a t-shirt brand, a beauty brand. You're selling some Apple style white background products. Maybe you just like bigger pictures and overviews and things like that. But you do have a little bit of a choice for different free themes, which is going to basically redefine how your homepage looks like. You can take a look into this and you're going to see that this one, for example, has two different styles, the bone and the toy. If one of these styles may be more suited to your store, it might not, but you do also have lots of different paid themes as well. These paid themes are quite expensive and in my personal opinion don't make that much of a difference when you're starting out. When you do get a little bit down the track, it may be more worthwhile looking into these paid themes or potentially even hiring a developer if you don't know enough about coding. But this is where your paid themes really kind of stand out from the crowd and let you create something a little bit different. So for example, this label theme is very different to all the others. You're able to view a demo of the site as well, so you can really get a feel for what it looks like. So we've just landed on this record. You scroll down, it's got really nice clean lines, very minimalistic. To be honest, you can probably create this very similar kind of layout by adding different sections to your theme that you have, which is a debut theme. But hey, look, if you don't have the time, it's potentially an option that you're able to just customize one of these themes. It might be a bit quicker. Take into consideration that when you do buy a new theme or you duplicate your theme, that all the changes you've made to your theme aren't going to be automatically applied to this. So all these pictures that you see here on the screen now are going to be completely different. You're not going to have, for example, the guy on the bike sitting there in the first picture. You're going to have the record guy. It's all going to be relative to the theme and you're going to basically have to start from scratch again. So yeah, there's lots of different themes that you can choose from. Again, this one here is $160, which again, I don't recommend really. If you're just starting out, they go to 180 and upwards. Some of them are actually really, really good, worth looking into, and great to sort by different categories. So at the moment, let's say we're running a clothing and fashion store. It gives you the themes that have been designed for clothing and fashion. For example, this broadcast one looks very minimalistic, looks very good, but at the same time, this has been photoshopped, edited, and designed in a way to actually stand out and look best. If you just chuck 2 different images on here, it's not going to look as good. So be very mindful with the themes that you select, and yeah, have a play around with the debut theme first, or any of the other free themes, and really get an understanding of how Shopify works before you potentially go out and buy a $200 theme that's only slightly different and may or may not increase your conversion rate. That's pretty much it, guys. That's a basic, half an hour, 40-minute run through of what a potential Shopify theme may look like for you. It's a very basic tutorial. There is so much to go through. And if you do like it, make sure you smash that subscribe button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. I want to see more of them. And if you do, I'll potentially go down, break Shopify into a lot more detail and give you guys a lot more information so you can really understand the platform and go ahead and start your new store. If you're new to the channel, you probably haven't. If you're new to the channel, I post a new ecom related video every Monday. It's either about tech, ecom, different things that are going to help you along your ecom journey, and just general entrepreneurial lifestyle. Nope. If you're new to the channel, I post a new video every Monday about different tech and different ecom related videos. If you're new to the channel, I post a new video every single Monday in relation to different ecom advice. If you're new to the channel, I post a new video every Monday that you might find helpful. They're all about becoming an entrepreneur in 2019 and different tech related videos. So if any of this interests you, or if this video you found fascinating, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you next Monday.